Hello, and a warm welcome to you all. And to this symposium, Lilia Prado is a superstar. My name is Solveig Øvstebø, and I'm the director here at the Astrup Fearnley Museet. It is so nice to see all of you here, and also to welcome this wonderful group of researchers, artists, writers, and curators who will participate from this stage over the next 2 days of performance, discussions, and we hope new encounters and conversations. When I moved back to Norway after 7 years in the States, my appointment here at the museum coincided with the initiative to mark the National Queer Culture Year of 2022, which is connected to the 50th anniversary since the Norwegian courts decriminalized the sexual act between two men in 1972. So, I started to grapple with how the Astrup Fearnley Museet could contribute to this and how we could respond thoughtfully to something that felt both urgent but nevertheless complex. As a contemporary art institution, we acknowledge that we can also function as a platform to raise socially and politically relevant issues. So rather than creating an exhibition presenting works of art relating to the topic, I felt that we could contribute better and maybe even stronger if we created a place for dialogue and conversations, a place to ask questions, to fabulate together about what brought us here, and envision what is to come. I invited my good friend and colleague Hendrik Folkerts, curator of international contemporary art and head of exhibition at Moderna Museet, who is one of the most visionary thinkers I know, to work with us to conceptualize this endeavor. And through Hendrik's curious and thoughtful take, Lilia Prado is a superstar. We have gathered artists and researchers from many parts of the world to highlight new and different avenues to the conversation around queer history and theory. And it is indeed our hope that this symposium can further open this intellectual and emotional space, rather than to confirm the boundaries around it. I would like to warmly thank Hendrik Folkerts for his dedication and rigorous work on conceiving this ambitious symposium. And it is ambitious. It has been wonderful to work with you, as always. And of course, a warm thank you goes to all the contributing speakers and performers for joining us here in Oslo. We really look forward. And none of this would ever take place without the ever hard-working team of the Astrup Fearnley Museet. Thank you once again for your dedication to this project. And finally, thank you to Fritt Ord for generously supporting the symposium, and to EGD Holding and the THI for supporting our artistic program in general throughout the year. And as you can see on the printout in the chair, we have a full program ahead of us these days, so buckle up. And please do participate in the many Q&A that we have come in. We would like this to be participatory and to have a dialogue. And now I will give the microphone to Hendrik, who will give you an introduction to the program and tonight's event. Thank you so much again.
So, wow. Welcome, really. I was walking to the museum this morning, actually, and I just realized it has been a while since I was at a symposium, right? We did a lot of things online in the last years, and that worked. I think it was good to meet people in a certain way. But God, I have missed this, truly. So it is so amazing and wonderful to see you all here. And a warm welcome to you all, sort of coming here on a Friday night, but an especially warm welcome to all the speakers, researchers, artists, writers. Without you, this does not exist. So we sort of honor you, and we want to welcome you and want to host you in the best way we can. And we are so sort of grateful that you're here. So thank you, truly, from the bottom of our hearts. More thank yous, because I think, yes, I'm back. Shut up already, no. No. thank yous must be given at the start, because this was a team effort in the truest sort of way, because I don't work at the Astrup Fearnley, right? So I needed to work with this new team, and God, what a team it is. And I'll sort of come back to that. But first and foremostly, Solveig. Thank you so much. The openness, the trust, the friendship, the generosity, it is all part of the fabric of what we are going to experience in the next 24 hours. So thank you so much. I really mean it. It has been incredible. And I think you know this, but it deserves some emphasis. You have an amazing team. And it's rare actually to see, any institution, I guess, but sort of a museum especially, to see a team work as one, and it was smooth and it was open and it was easy. So I want to call a few people out actually for their collaboration and for their sort of trust again in sort of hosting us this evening, which is a team of Astrup Fearnley Museet, Stein Inge Erhus, Knut Arne Heggen, Helle Holm, Umut Kutschukerman, Renate Bjørnsen, Sandra Stokker, Ina Elisabeth Lindholm Westengen Cox, Anna Elshoy, and Ingrid Skenke. I did my best with those names, so I apologize. But thank you so much for everything you've done. It's been incredible. So now, I am sure you all have been wondering what makes Lilia Prado a superstar. I could not think of a better starting point to consider that a question than the work of Abdellah Taïa, the most brilliant writer and filmmaker, who will be the first speaker of our symposium. To read Abdellah's books, oh God, we forgot the slides. Here we are. We're warming up here. To read Abdellah's books is to be caught in a rhythm of language. In the opening pages of Infidèles, we are in the midst of a feverish dream of words, the invocations of a mother that actually was, but also what she could be, as a figure in which biography and fiction merge into a new form of personal history. In the book, An Arab Melancholia, we follow the protagonist from Saleh near Rabat to France over a period of 20 years. He is running after his dream, and he is running after the Egyptian movie star Suat Hosni, an equally evocative figure as Lilia Prado, that brings a boy from Saleh out of his neighborhood, out of shame, out of fear, and out of silence. And just as Ulysses Carrion was projecting his own desires and identifications on the Mexican silent movie star, which we will return to tomorrow, of course, it turns out we may all have had our Lilia Prados, found and ready-made icons, through which we see ourselves in a slightly distorted mirror. For me, it began, I guess, in many ways with Oscar Wilde. In my mind, always personified by Stephen Fry. My own personal fantasy of love, rebellion, literary grandeur, melancholy, and ultimately a tragedy. Or to be an American schoolgirl, whose moral compass always seems blurred by the desires of capitalism. Or perhaps I fancied myself a pink narcissus, the lush, hazy, erotic mirror for a young boy with very little outlet for his desires. Later, there was Valley Export, the woman who was bold, unafraid, who made a fucking point that I could understand, relate to, and stand with. That, of course, came with a sort of a general and very false sort of nostalgia of the 1960s and 70s. Ulysses came in soon after, as an example of how performance can be a complete practice. Ulysses, he gossiped. He spread rumors about himself. He found ready-mades, created icons, and sold books. He was truly a superstar. The wondrous world of Vaginal Davis was yet another space of fabulation, but also of a critical reflection on what these self-made mirrors actually signified. As one of the godmothers of what Jose Munoz proclaimed as disidentification, Miss Davis provided an essential instrument to continue becoming, to not fix subjectivity within existing power structures and resist the oppressive and normative discourse of any ideology. Hello, Norwegian Aquarier. And now, this evening, it is Abdellah Taïa, my superstar, my icon, who will be sharing with us his Egyptian movie stars. After Abdellah's talk, we will continue speaking about icons, what we project on them, and how a queer can be a constant process of identification and disidentification. Thank you again all for being here, and please help me to give the warmest welcome to Abdellah Taïa. Thank you.
Alors, hello to all of you. Bonsoir. English is not my third language, so I speak Arabic first. I was born in Moroccan Arabic family, very poor, so we had only Arabic, and we were so proud of being Arabic when we discovered that this thing called French language can maybe help us to get some money from the rich Moroccan people. My mother told us, okay, go and learn that French language. And that's why I used to go to study in University of Rabat to see how they are, these rich Moroccan people, and how they stole all our money, and all the money of Morocco, and continued the French colonization by considering us as the weak in Morocco, the majority. And now I'm speaking to you in English, so I don't know where I am in my mind, so please, if at certain point you don't understand what I am saying, just continue faking that you understand. So to give you a map of me, if I might say, I was born in 1973 in Rabat, and after that my family moved to the city of Salé. It's just the other side of the river Bourgreg. My family is enormous, 7 sisters, 2 brothers and me, and I am the number 9. Very poor, but luckily for us we had a mother coming from the hunger of the countryside of the French colonization. The French people choose her first husband. They gave him the honor to go to do a war that has nothing to do with him in Indochina, what we call today Vietnam. That man died there. He's buried there. France gave money to his family. When the family got the French money, they said, okay, we should get rid of this woman, my mother. So they rejected her. They put her in the desert, literally in the desert, the countryside. So from that desert in the 50s, my mother was able to find a man, to control that man, and to program that man, to push him to go from the countryside to many cities, from the countryside of Beni Mellal near the mountain of the Atlas, to a city called El Jadida, and then to the Moroccan capital, Rabat, where I was born in 1973, and then they moved to Salé. But even when I was in Salé, they were still very, very poor. I feel lucky, but I feel also ashamed. Lucky in a way that I witnessed in the 70s and the 80s the humiliations my mother had to endure just to give us food. Because just to go from that countryside, to construct the family, to teach that man how to be the man, and to give that husband what he needed, and yet at the same time to feed 11 persons every day, 3 times a day, with nothing. Because this is where I was born. There was nothing. We used to wake up in the morning and there was nothing. So from that nothing, rien, walu, this is the word in Arabic, walu. We are walu, we are nothing, and we are going to eat nothing. So every day I witnessed the humiliations she had to suffer to endure just to give us food. And every day I was part of the strategies, and this has to do a lot with being gay and queer, so don't desperate. Huh? This is just the beginning of the trilogy of Abdellah Taïa. No, I'm telling you about her because I feel lucky that I saw what does it mean for a woman to be considered illiterate. But of course she was not. It means nothing, a woman illiterate. When she is facing by herself a whole society, a whole Morocco, every day, during 45 years. And at the end of the day, they will call her, you are illiterate, you don't understand society, you are just a Muslim woman that's been needed by some French guy called Jean-Pierre, or Francine, or whatever. So just to give you where was I? So I was enough lucky to witness and be part of the strategies she had to develop every day. And those strategies were not totally honest, were not totally about being what you are. They were not about being, I am the freest person, I want to be in the society and I will change the society. My mother used to say, society, Morocco as society doesn't exist. And when I was studying French culture, I used to think that my mother was wrong, that by saying that society doesn't exist. It's only after she died that I realized that it was her own way of not recognizing this society that never recognized her as she was. This all people, this rich people, this king, this French people continue to go to Morocco until this day, until looking at her, because she was only putting a jilabad and maybe some veil, but she was not like that, and they will dare to look at her and consider her as someone who is not enough capable of thinking the society she was living in, and with a right vengeance against the French people who took her first husband and made him go until Indochina to die for a war that has nothing to do with him. She didn't forget that. But when I told her that I wanted to do French language and I want to go to Paris, she cut me off. She said, you are not going to Paris. You will not go to Paris. There is no way that me, I made you, I put you out of my body, I gave you money, I gave you this and this, and now you are going to tell this French people about me and about us in the way they are expecting you to tell us about. She told me all these things. And at that time, I completely forgot about that first story of that first husband. It came back to me later when she died. And I understood how much for her France killed her, and a lot of values that is considered as the right values of being modern, etc., but at first started by killing something for her. Okay, I should stop here because the title of my my performance is my Egyptian movies. But at certain points, I will go back to my mother because it's. I said it's an honor for me that I witnessed what humiliations, but also ashamed because. And I think this is very hard for a gay person like me. That in order for me to emancipate myself as a gay person, I forgot about my mother at a certain point. I didn't see her in the right way. I didn't see her. I didn't give her that time and that energy that I gave to so many people who only evaporated from my life, and they gave me nothing, and I gave them so much. But yet this woman who taught me how to be gay, because there is a way to be gay. I'm going to tell you later. Anyway, gay à la Abdellah Taïa, not universal gay, being gay. And in that little house I grew up in High Salem, there was 3 rooms. One for the elder, the big son, Abdel Kabir. Because she didn't succeed in programming perfectly my father, she said, I'm going to program the elder son in a way that he will bring what I want him to bring. And in a way, she completely succeeded in that. So she decided to give him his own room. When I was born, he was already the crown king, a very silent king, but extremely silent. The second room was what we call the salon for the guests. And that's where she exiled the father because she couldn't deal with him every day. And the last room, it was for 6 sisters. The 7th sister was a half-sister she had with that man who died in Indochina. So that family of that man, not only they took the money, but they took also her daughter with that man, and they kicked her out. But they continued to have a certain relationship. So in that third room, 6 sisters, 2 young boys, my little brother and me, and her. 9 persons in 10 meters square. Paradise, hell, ecstasy, weakness, maladies, screams, fashion policy, witnessing what all these people going on the Moroccan TV, what are they going to tell us about us, and us immediately destroying what they are telling about us, especially those who were there to speak in French. And you know, when they start quoting Jean-Paul Sartre, and you know, this is the end. Because it felt to us, oh, all right, French colonization, it really didn't end. It's still some people trying to, I have nothing against Jean-Paul Sartre or Simone de Beauvoir, but it's just this way of speaking and talking about us by quoting some other people who had no idea about us, about our stories, about what was going on in that little room, 10 meters square. And I think you can imagine easily what's this room. And I want you to imagine 7 bodies of 7 women, screaming, talking, imagining, having desires, and 2 little boys, me and my little brother, with no bed, and all of us in the night sleeping on the floor. I don't want you to have a miserable image of this, because for me this is a paradise. I feel so much, in a way, lucky that life, yes, at first it was malediction, how we say this in English? I felt like being gay was, it was a sin. Something around, not in the family, but around to tell me that I had no future. But even with the idea that there is no future for me, there was these 7 bodies around me. And from those 7 bodies of this, they are all older than me, except my little brother. I learned everything you can learn from the research of the pastime by Marcel Proust, or films by Douglas Sirk, or the bitchiness of Betty Davis, or I don't know, or the romantic way of acting of Isabella Gianni, or all these things were in one room. And one day, by miracle, I don't know how she managed to do that, again with nothing, a TV appeared. The old TV in black and white in 1980. I was 7 years old. Of course, the silent king of the house, the big brother, he said, the TV has to be in my room. So he put the TV in his room, and you really imagine this. Like this is his room, this is the door of his room, and we are outside the room watching, like 9 people here, watching this guy here, enjoying the TV alone, and trying to have the best vision for himself, but yet we can share something with him. Apartheid. I have no other word to describe this injustice. But yet, on this injustice that was happening there, some miracle happened, and it has to do with my Egyptian movies. One day, I discovered that every Friday night, there was what we call al-film al-Arabi, the Arabic film. Egyptian movies are so important in the Arab world. They made so many extraordinary movies that they represented in the 40s, 50s, 60s. I would say even until the end of the 80s, what is the Arab world? What is the struggles of the Arab world? What is being Arab, and how to speak and to tell stories and to tell your lives in an imaginaire that is specifically Arabic with Arabic words. So at that time, of course, I didn't understand these things like I am telling you. That trying to be here intelligent and explain to you what was that discovery. The only thing was like, how are we going to get rid of that big brother? Because not only he was crowned as a king, but he was silent. This is the worst. If at least he was speaking or saying nonsense or trying to have some discourses that are nonsense. No. My mother succeeded enough to emasculate him that he was silent. He has nothing to say. Well, I think, yeah, she did. So every time he used to leave the house to go to study and to pray a brighter future for us, of course, he used to close the door of his room. As soon as he will leave the house, what will do the rest of the savage brothers and sisters? We enter that room by the window, la fenêtre, الشرجم. And not only we watch the TV, but we wear his clothes. I spent my whole teenager years wearing the shirts of my big brother. They were all bigger than me, no, wider than my size, but it was like for me a good revenge from this guy. I have to admit that I was in love with him too. For one reason, that one day, and this will tell you a lot of things about how even someone who feels that he is living in the injustice, as soon as the king will tell him, well, you come next to me, he will forget about the others. As soon as he told me, okay, come you, Abdellah, in the room next to me while the sisters are still outside, I don't know, he created something in my mind. He put something in my mind that I can call love, and I think it's him who gave me this idea that there is something that can be done in this place called Paris, La France, and maybe because he had the books, he had les cahiers de cinéma, he had all these important things. But at the time, I had no idea that these things were important. And one day I discovered that by just trying to see what are these books and these magazines and reviews, I discovered that there is this school cinema in Paris called La Fémis, l'EDEC. It was called IDEC before. It is a very, very important school. And I'm sure that he put that in my mind. But, of course, as we all know, the women, They are in the truth, and they will never, never stop if they want something. And in Morocco, luckily for the women, they have something extraordinary to help them. It's the sorcery. To put spells on people, like without being shamelessly, like not as something folkloric or something that is, I know that's what you are thinking when I say sorcery. I experienced that too in Paris. Every time I say la sorcellerie, my mother used to put, suddenly they will, you are still that savage. Oh, you will never be modern as us. But at that time, and even today, maybe they were the most people I admired the most. Because I don't know if you imagine this, to go to a sorcerer or a woman sorcerer or man sorcerer in the society, in a neighborhood where everyone knows that you are going to see that when you are doing. You become the bitch, you become the bad people, you become that one that other people were not going to frequent in the society. But yet, these women, the sisters and my mother, they did it. They did it. Today, I can say that that was a weapon for them to stop the control of this man, because if my father and my big brother are representative of what are men, so okay, I have a bad image of straight people. I'm sorry to say this, because I swear, this woman who is coming from the countryside, who had nothing, she didn't know what is Marcel Proust, but she didn't know what is Claude Lévi-Strauss or anything, but she knew how to control all these straight people. She knew how to feed them, how to make them do what. Anyway, let's go back to Egyptian movies. I think one of the hardest things in life for me as a gay person is I didn't find out about myself as gay the first. Other people knew that I was gay before me, not knew that I was gay. Meaning that when I was 5 years old, my oldest memories of myself was as a body or as... It's like this thing, voila. Very effeminate, very naturally effeminate, very not imitating, because I don't remember that in my brain I was trying to imitate my sisters. I was just naturally in the same natural environment. We were all sleeping together on the floor. I was witnessing to everything that is happening to their bodies every month. And I was not, scared, what is going on here? No, I helped. They had pain every month because it's the monster. Yeah, it was. Imagine 6 sisters, with all of them with pains. And we had to invent how to ease the pain. So my mother taught me, and there is. In pierre des galets, I don't know how to say this in English. It's in the, let's say it's a stone that you make warm, hot, and you make them sit on that very hot stone. And after that, because I was at that time still little, I would go behind them, and I would put my feet here and push. I did this for 6 sisters during many, many years. I'm telling you this just as an experience that is also mine. It's not only their bodies. It's a circulation of something that was in that 10-meter square room, completely natural. So whatever the society was saying, whatever this Morocco thing was saying, whatever this king was saying, whatever this colonialism was still looking at us, we didn't care because we didn't know this thing. And when they would appear on the TV, we would be laughing at them. Why are they speaking like this? Why are they talking about these people who have nothing to do with Morocco or poverty, or even our brother being this fabulous little sensitive sissy boy and so much happy so much happy. This is the happiest memories of my life, that the people who were around me found out about me being gay at first had no problem about me and with how I would do. And not only that, they taught me how to manipulate other people the same way that our mothers used to manipulate the whole people. My mother was a bitch, in a good way. For instance, when someone would say something against her or would do something bad to her, she never forgot. Like 10 years later, like we would be in the afternoon, everything is okay, we had food, and suddenly she would say, Haji Abdellah, Mustafa, come with me. And we would accompany her to let's say, a neighbor. She would knock on the door. The poor neighbor knew nothing was going to happen to her. As soon as the woman opens the door, like she would shower her with the vengeance that she was preparing 10 years. During 10 years. This is a good lesson of life. I am sharing it with you all. Never forget your vengeance. Never forget your vengeance. There is something that will help you cleanse yourself. That poison that they put in you, you have to take it out in a way or another. And unfortunately, there is not always an honest way to do that. So if there is something that is bad, and why not? Okay, I have to go back to this. But I was saying something that is very important, that these people who found out about me that I was gay were the sisters. And at first there was no problem. And not only that, I think my first memory of myself is me, a little boy, doing my Egyptian moves to them, the belly dancing. They taught me how to belly dance and how to be that, their joy. I was their joy. I was that moment where, I don't know, I think you can understand this. Suddenly when in a family, there is suddenly the sadness, the tragedy, because there is no money, there is the fights all the time, and suddenly there is no energy to even fight. There is only sadness. And imagine 11 persons sad, like this in 3 rooms, and these impossibilities between us, and we all know what's going on, when there is no way to speak up, or there is no need actually to speak up, because sometimes just to speak, it just makes things worse. So in this sadness and this tragedies, suddenly they would tell me, you, do the dance, the dance. I was their joy, and I would do the dance. Well, when I was 7 and 8, I started to make them pay me. Because, at certain points, exploitation has to end. Well, I have 6 sisters to learn from, plus the mother, so the money has to come. And I am telling you all these things because it's the happiest thing that they knew about me before me, and I just jumped in and swim with them. And at a certain point, with the years, because you are that body that is totally being seen, like when you leave the house and you are walking the streets, they look at you. They are looking at you. The people, they are looking at you. Even when they say nothing, they are just looking at you. Looking. So you are this thing suddenly that becomes the joy from the joy to the shame, from the Abdellah, let's come put you some makeup, put the kaftan, okay, and suddenly they are more gay or queer than me. And actually they are queer more than me, before me, because they were not ashamed with that little boy who was their brother, blood, and his name is Abdellah, which it means in Arabic, the slave of Allah. Imagine a slave of Allah gay. And they were not ashamed of that. And suddenly, when you are 12 and no, before 12, I'd start with 10. When suddenly, I don't know, it was like a breaking news in the in the neighborhood. You know, Abdullah, the little, you can take his hand, go with him there and behind, put down his trousers, do whatever you want. And suddenly they got all the word. And so this is what I'm trying to tell you. Suddenly, how this fucking, I'm sorry for the word, society and the world destroy the happiness and the joy. You were poor, you were nothing, but you were still able to find a way to resist to all these things by just being joyful with each other. And by doing that, you are resisting to all of them. And suddenly, they find a way because someone saw something in you and started to do something to you, and you went with him, and he started telling all the others, and all the others wanted the same thing from you, and you are only 10 years, 11, 12, and they will tell you, they will do this thing to you and pretend that they are not, of course, gay or, of course, they are not, and or pedophile, of course, they are not. And when they're in the middle, you find yourself in it's hell. Because the family learns, they tell them, and there is no way this family that is already nothing in this world is going to find words to defend this boy publicly. Because suddenly this little boy is weakening them. Not him, but the way the society is looking at him and what is doing to him. And that's why I told you earlier, this is the happiest thing in my life, that they knew before me. My memory, it's them, of me. They were my memory. They were telling me my memory that I don't remember. They were living with me all these things. And suddenly, they stopped. Everything stopped. Not only they got married, and suddenly you have in your houses men, straight men you had nothing to do with, and they will say, I am the husband of your sister. And you have to behave like this is another king. And you see suddenly all these superstars, actually, they were superstars. My sisters were so beautiful. Stupid men, they don't even know how to talk or to have a conversation. And suddenly, you have to when they are in the house, to treat them like they are kings, but they are nothing. They are nothing. And you see the sisters going into something else, and everything stopped. I hope you follow the movie with me. If you, you're doing great. And suddenly you see them turning their backs to you. You understand why they are doing that. Of course you understand. There is no other options for them. There is nothing for them. What can they do? What can they do? There is only this thing called marriage and all these dreams that you are still remembering their dreams. I still remember their dreams. I still remember everything. I still remember the man they slept with, all of them, and the way I helped them to have sex with all these men. They were not virgins when they went to. No. This is recorded. No, I still remember. And suddenly, this is why this thing called being adult is just a huge problem. Until now, for me, it's a huge problem. Suddenly, people are acting weird, bizarre, and they accept the submission. Of course, they have no other options. I totally understand for my sisters. What else can they have? What else? Even, I think, the mother would give them the signal, you have to leave now. You have to find out. And I still remember that their desperation, where they are going to find this man, where they are going to have... I still remember very clearly, suddenly all these sisters, and even me, entering each one in desperation areas, and suddenly the inspiration we had when we were little to bring the joyful boy stopped, and we were just looking at each other, everyone in his or her desperation, that the society and the neighborhood and all these people are putting on them. You see this image? Everyone, and you see it. It's not like you are not aware. You see it, you feel it, you smell it, and you are doing nothing. No one is doing nothing, and while you see that what it's like taking someone to butchery to kill him or to kill her, and no one is there to stop this thing. This has nothing to do with Egyptian movies. But, of course, when we succeeded to have that black and white TV, I'm going back to that black and white TV, to leave the room of the older brother, there we found bodies of women that we felt they are us, because at that time, I guess even until now, the actresses, especially the actresses, they were all considered in Morocco, in the Arab world, as whores. But yet, these whores were in our houses, and that was the fucking revolution. No one could stop them from appearing in front of us and being dishonest and being half naked and doing the belly dancing and doing the nasty, doing the kissing, sleeping on beds and imagining that the man is there. There is a famous film, Arabic film called Al-Wisad al-Khaliya, The Empty Pillow. And you see, it's a very famous image. You see the heroine taking the pillow and holding it, and it's very, very famous Arabic word. So, I was, I think, 10, maybe 9 or 10 years when we succeeded to have that TV in our room. And somehow, these women were preparing me and telling me what is going to happen. Because this is what I believe in cinema is. It's not only a representation of the present. It's not something that just a good actress is playing the good part and a good story. There is always more, actually much more interesting things going on just in the scenes. You can forget about the plot and just look at the scene, the detail, how they are looking, how they are doing the poses, how they are saying things without saying things, what is being left be hors champ. not being shown off stage, off camera, behind the camera, but at the same time it is there in the scene. There are so many Egyptian stars that I can tell you about, but I choose the most villain ones. Actually, villains they were stars, and because they were playing the villain parts. They were Isabelle Huppert before Isabelle Huppert. Isabelle Huppert is today is the only superstar that is a superstar playing in almost all her films the roles of the murderers, of the women. She made a whole career since 1978. Violette Nozière. So many films, the ceremony of Claude Chabrol. Anyway, I'm not here to talk about Isabelle Huppert, but you see what I mean. We have this woman is her name is Hind Rostom. Some people they would compare her to Rita Hayworth, but Rita Hayworth was an angel. This woman was no angel. And that's why I loved her. She was the one playing the parts, the lascive, can we say that? Like the too much, like the more too much she would give you of lascive and being this woman, the more you would love her. And the more she's in there. And until now, she is remembered and loved because of that, not because she was a good actress playing a very good accent à la Meryl Streep. No. We don't care about that. She was in that honesty because I think this has to do with what I told you before, that for so many people, it's being an actress is linked to be a whore. They would see them and they will enjoy seeing them. But at the same time, they are whores. They don't respect the values now. But as I told you earlier, the revolution for me started is that they are saying all these things, but yet these images are here in the house, on this TV. Who can stop these images? No one can stop these images. And at that time, of course, I was only a little boy. I have no idea about what is queer culture, Western queer culture, or anything. But I think instinctively, an LGBTQ plus person understands something good. It's fluid thing between us, n'est-ce pas? Isn't it? There is something that is circulating among us, and we know just how to get it and to jump in it and lick it and do whatever. We are very good at that. Yes. So I chose this one because I really love her. And there is one film it's on YouTube. It's called La Anam. It means I don't sleep. I can send you the links, Hendrik, and you can share with all these people if you want to. It's a story of a father, his wife died, so he's raising his daughter. And so the whole film is about the daughter in love with her father. So she keeps marrying him and making him divorce. And one day she marries him to this woman. And then, the true battle of life starts. Something incredible. It's like, that film, Duel in the Sun? Incredible. I love that movie. Gregory Peck playing the villain. That's the best thing in the world. Do you know this film, Duel in the Sun? Duel, that's the right title? It's with Joseph Cotton and Gregory Peck. They were playing two brothers fighting for one woman. If you haven't seen it, you have to. This film is this kind of... So if Hind Rostom was the villain, this other actress is way more than her. Birlanti Abdelhamid. All her films, I swear, all her films is playing this woman destroying the man. See, this is her mission. All these people who want to submit, to put her down, and the guy next to her, you recognize him? It's Omar Sharif. Omar Sharif, as you know, maybe you don't know it, he had a long career before Lawrence of Arabia, you know, in Egypt. So many films. One of the best of his films, it's called A Man in Our House. It's a story of resistant who is running away, and he enters a house, and everyone falls in love with him, including the... So the whole film was presenting this idea of the other and what he is creating in the bodies of all the other. It's something like what Pasolini did in Teorema. But this film was before Teorema. It's called A Man in Our House. Her name is Birlanti Abdelhalim. If I had to choose one, it would be her. I love her so much. And I choose this last one. His name is Kamal Shenawi. And I chose him for one reason, and forgive me if you don't have the same taste as me. His mustache. I am, until the end of my life, mustachio, everything. And he was, again, playing these ambiguous roles, the good and the bad, and I swear, when I chose these actors to tell you about them, I didn't choose them with the idea that they are representing somehow the gay that I am is seeing myself in them, the villains, and how they are treated in cinema, and how just by telling a story that is not theirs, they are telling something else. I think I realized this something and only now. Okay, I think I should stop. But I have, no, because I just go here and I go here and get there. All I can say is that luckily for me, when the world shows me his real and true face, the cruelty every day until today, these people appeared on the screen. And suddenly, what is reality true has not to stop, but has to be filled with a love that seems that is not anymore existing in my life, in my true life, but somehow these people, even when they were villains, were giving that love to me. And somehow, the desperation, the isolation, in the desperation we were all experiencing, made us fall in love with these people. And these people, not only they brought us the joy we were not anymore capable of creating among us, but they brought us life. They brought us something. It's not only the idea of you are watching a good film or a masterpiece or that will be in a French cinematheque or something. We don't care about that. These people were, and these images were enough true, and they appeared in a time that I really needed them. So now I'm going to end this this thing. I don't know what it is, and I told you about the joy, and my sisters and even my mother knew about me being gay, effeminate, and they taught me how to belly dance and to bring them the joy. I don't remember when they taught me, but I remember when I started asking them money. And today, it's impossible to talk about these things with them, it seems childish to them, I guess, or because life destroyed so many things in them. So I feel that the gay person that I am their memory. Voilà. And I want to finish this thing by showing you a moment from a film called Tamar Henna with a fabulous actress, singer, belly dancer. Her name was Naima Akif. And this joy. And I just want to share this moment with you. And thank you. Mwah.